Alright everyone, welcome back. So, I have Sevagoth Prime, and after playing him for a while in order to get some background footage for this video, I realized he's actually really strong and also quite a lot of fun to play, so I highly recommend this particular Warframe if you're looking for a new Warframe to play or if you want to get Sevagoth Prime, I guess. I guess if you already have Sevagoth Regular, you might as well try and get Sevagoth Prime. Not necessarily by paying for it, but you should definitely try and get it if you can. We're here with Sevagoth in the Simulacrum, and I haven't said the Simulacrum in a very long time. Here's the thing about Sevagoth. Let's just remind ourselves again what this Warframe is all about. It's a Warframe where when you get him and you try to upgrade him, you do need to do quite a lot in order to actually fully build him, I guess, because you have to build himself, you have to build his shadow, and then you also have to build his claws. And usually that means a lot of Forma is involved. Sevagoth Regular, I think, is famous for being a big Forma sink, and that was kind of annoying for some people, myself slightly included, I guess. What DE did was they actually gave Sevagoth Prime a whole lot of extra polarity. A lot of them went to his claws, so that should make building his claws a little bit easier, but also a few of them went to his shadow, and then I think he also got the standard 1 extra polarity to himself, so that's really good. Except, not really, because none of the extra polarities went to his aura slot, so I made the very fatal mistake of forgetting to actually Forma his aura slot right from the get-go, so I kind of ended up using way more Forma than I should have. Not my proudest moment. But either way, let's remind ourselves of Sevagoth's abilities. So the main thing with his regular form, after we do some battle, I think, is that his second ability is of course sow, and then his first ability is called reap. You reap what you sow, and in doing so, enemies who are affected by reap after they have been sown, they basically explode and do damage equal to 25% of their current HP, which means once you do it the second time, it's a lot weaker, because when you've already knocked out a whole lot of their HP, they don't have that much HP left, which means 25% of their current very low HP is nothing, as you would expect. And at the same time, we're also using our third ability in the form of Gloom. I don't have to explain Gloom, do I? It's a big slow and heal, which is why Sevagoth is still very healthy in the end of that. And now we have the fourth ability in the form of Sevagoth's Shadow, which we were able to complete the meter for in order to be able to summon Sevagoth's Shadow, because you can't just use energy to summon Sevagoth's Shadow. Well, that happened. His first ability is, of course, a grab, like so. Very useful crowd control. And his second ability, if I actually get hit a bit more, which I won't, it's a dash. It also heals you. That's the idea. And then his third ability is Death Harvest, which is a damage vulnerability ability, which, because of a few augments that I have on my build, tends to result in nuking. But as you can see there, my second ability was able to heal Sevagoth all the way to full, and that's usually the case with Sevagoth's Shadow. So that's of course really nice. So yeah, like I mentioned, the build that I have for Sevagoth and Sevagoth's Shadow does mean that the nuking capabilities of Sevagoth's Shadow is also very strong alongside the nuking capabilities of Sevagoth Regular. So they kind of are both very strong. Because the build that I have on Sevagoth Prime is a double augment build, because there's only 2 augments on Sevagoth. But then on top of that, I am using essentially a health tank build. And I feel like building health tank makes sense because he can heal a lot with Gloom. So to that end, I'm just trying to get as much power strength on this build as I can, because I can't use Archon Intensify because Gloom doesn't work on Archon Intensify, and that's a little bit cringe if you ask me. But either way, the rest of this build should make a whole lot of sense. So to explain the augments real quick, because they came out a lot later than I guess the first time I ever talked about Sevagoth. The Reap augment is called Shadow Haze, and what this does is basically whenever you kill enemies that are affected by Death Harvest, so that's either his Shadow third ability or I guess Reap in general, a new shadow shows up. and they can fly around, and you get to have 3 shadows just flying around, applying reap to everything, but also reaping anyone that you sow. So that's of course really, really good. On top of that, the critical chance that enemies are afflicted by Death Harvest is increased by 50%, which means you crit more against enemies that are affected by Death Harvest. That's really, really, really nice. And then on top of that, we also have Dark Propagation, which is the sow augment. Essentially what happens is that if you kill enemies that are affected by sow, more enemies get affected by sow. That part isn't really all that important in my opinion. The main thing is that Shadow's Death Harvest actually also inflicts sow now, which is why enemies exploded and they all died as a direct result of me using Death Harvest, and one of them died. That's why. Because one of them died, which in turn procced Shadow Haze, which created a shadow, which then reaped everyone, and they all exploded, and they all died. Because they were also affected by damage vulnerability. That's basically why Sevagoth Prime and Sevagoth Prime's Shadow, really, really deadly combo. And then finally we have the Shadow Claws, which in this case I've basically just built as blast damage. Not just because blast damage is really, really cool, but also because of what I've done for Sevagoth Prime in terms of some Archon shards. I have actually given him an orange Archon shard, specifically the one that gives him extra HP whenever he kills enemies that are affected by blast procs. And that means that not only does that affect himself, but it also affects Sevagoth Prime's Shadow. And that's why I've put it on his claws, and that's why I'm using the Paris Prime. I'm just basically giving both the claws, the Shadow, and himself as much HP as possible. I'm doubling down, in fact, by using that and the Arcane that does the exact same thing whenever you grab a health orb. So, is this the way you should be building Sevagoth? Maybe, maybe not. But it is the way that I have opted to go for, because it makes the most sense to me at the present moment. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. How do you build Sevagoth Prime? Let me know in the comments. I suspect there might be people who actually build him as a shield tank, I guess, because shields are still really, really powerful. I should know. I'm a mag main, of course. Will I use him more than mag? Probably not, but I will probably be using him on and off for now. While the honeymoon period is still a thing. I still play Jade from time to time, so play Sevagoth more, hopefully, now that I remember that he's really, really fun to play. So yeah, anyway, otherwise, let me know what you think about anything else, I guess, about Sevagoth in the comments below. Otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more Warframe content sometime between now and Christmas, I guess. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Angels trying